Have you experienced loss or tragedy? Try running away into the woods. It's the cure for what ails you. Caution, side effects of running away into the woods may include delusion, murder, huge monsters, and believing that time has shifted by 100 years. Use with caution.
Is this a metal thing?
Yes. Little taste.
David, what is this?
Pretty thick.
Brain break.
I have to kill a lot of people. Just tell me what you want me to fuck.
I have big tits and a tiny vagina.
Oil me up, Daddy.
I can't believe that Bryce prefers big tits. Mistletoe alert. This is back country.
This guy was a real jerk.
How long can Hugo be pregnant?
Chomp, 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 a chomp.
Oh, she's such a dick, David.
Okay, everybody, put on your corpse handling gloves. Hoodie Picasso. Horror.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
What's up? What's up?
What's up? What is up?
that?
Yo,
Who is that?
Pick up the phone.
Pick up the phone.
What's up? What's up?
What's up, everybody? It is.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
It is. What's up? It is. Okay. Hello and welcome to Horror Movie Talk Plus. That's right, folks. We've now transcended genre boundaries and sometimes cover other movies, non-horror movies. We put a plus at the end because Paramount and Disney shamed us into doing it. Make sure you rate and review and subscribe on iTunes. Please actually do give us a nice rating. Give us a nice review. Send us some nice words. It helps with the depression. So yeah, do that. And don't be a square and make sure to share. Also check out patreon.com/horrormovietalk. It's the place where you can get unadulterated, very sexy pictures of both Bryce and I. Also a whole nother podcast that we record that details the nitty-gritty dirt of our lives. We laugh, we cry, we laugh. If you want to add your pee to the community pool, go to horrormovietalk.com, call 682-253-4468, and you may get onto the show. As always, we have Fort Simpson crammed into the production booth. I'm me, and across from me sits Bryce Hanson. Say hello.
Aloha.
Aloha. He's an island boy over there. We've got a great show today. Let me just undo my belt and my button, because I'm going to be sitting down for this one. It's The Village. We are reviewing 2004's M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dongs, The Village. That's right. So, you know how it goes. We start out by giving a brief review, score for the movie, score on a scale of 1 to 10. After we give our score, we get into spoilers and take a deeper dive into what we liked and hated about the film. Later in this episode, we're going to be taking your calls, going way, 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 way back, taking those calls, 682-253-4468. The Village can be found for rent on the internet. Beep, bop, boop. You can buy it. You can rent it. I have a buddy who has it on a server, so I didn't do that. These are just trade secrets.
I should have checked that. Why didn't I check that?
You're so stupid.
I'm an
Fucking
idiot.
Look at, they're all on there. They're all on there. The synopsis. The synopsis. The Village is the story of a community that has sequestered themselves in the woods to avoid the evils and pain caused by the world at large. Set in the late 1800s, the community is full of interesting and varied people, but not all is well in the village. There is an evil that lurks in the forest, a village people, if you will. Kept at bay by certain colors and a tenuous truce that has been struck with these strange village people creatures. Ivy Walker, played by Bryce Dallas Howard, whose initials are almost Bryce Stephen Hanson's initials.
I know. That's my name.
Instead of BSH, we got BDH.
I know. I'd
Wow,
rather be...
and you guys are spit. You could be twins separated at birth.
I know.
And so Ivy Walker and Lucius Hunt, played by Joaquin Phoenix, fall in love and are set to be married when a violence occurs, leaving
David,
Lucius
I believe it's pronounced Joaquin.
Joaquin
Joaquin Phoenix.
Phoenix. Did I ever tell you the story of when we were all sitting around the dinner table at Thanksgiving and my terrible, horrible, now dead grandmother said, it said about my wife, she married the wrong brother.
Yeah, you did mention that.
Well, maybe Bryce Dallas Howard married the wrong brother. Maybe it should have been River. Anyway, Ivy Walker and Lucius Hunt fall in love and are set to be married when a violence occurs, leaving Lucius close to death. The blind Ivy must face the terrors in the woods and the evils of society in order to save her new love. Everyone gets more irony than they bargained for. My review goes... The Village is a fun thriller with a stellar cast and some interesting concepts. The acting is interesting and well performed. The script is slow and intentional, and it provides lots of fall atmosphere. A lot of people bag
That's what I
on-
look for in my movie is fall atmosphere.
Dude, it is the time that people, these Halloween heads are out en masse right now. They're like, 4th of July just fucking ended, bro. You know what that means? Time to mainline Michael Myers until Halloween.
Well, yeah, I saw the spirit sign started going up already.
It gets earlier and earlier. Earlier and earlier. Every year we're celebrating Christmas and Memorial Day. Let's see here. A lot of people bag on movies by M. Night Shyamalan, as long as those movies aren't The Sixth Sense. But honestly, they aren't giving him his due. The Village explores interesting emotional territory in something called allegory. Look it up. It poses the questions of building emotional walls. It poses. This isn't a good sentence at all. It does an allegory with emotional walls. By putting up real walls.
It poses the questions of building emotional walls by putting up real walls, which isn't a question.
No, that's not a question. It's also a real fun period piece to boot. Where else can you find Sigourney Weaver?
Where can you find Sigourney Weaver nowadays?
Where can you find Sigourney Weaver? Joaquin Phoenix, Bryce Dallas Howard, Adrian Brody. Oh man, we gotta play that. Oh, it's happening. Hell yeah.
everybody now. Adrian Brody, Adrian Brody, Adrian Brody, Adrian Brody, Adrian Brody. He's coming for you, Bryce Dallas Howard.
Was that as good for you as it was for me? Oh my god. Oh my god.
If it's one thing our listeners love and have told us they love every time, it's Brody Quest.
Brody Quest. Every time. So it's also a really fun period to piece to boot. Where else can you find Sigourney Weaver, Joe Quinn Phoenix, Bryce Dallas Howard, Adrian Brody, Brendan Gleeson, Judy Greer, and Jesse... Oh no! And Jesse Eisenberg all in one place. Where? You can't find them anywhere. Anywhere, just here. The thing that I cherish most about this movie is the devotion to atmosphere. It's spooky and stark, set in the woods, New England, in the spooky Halloween time. Ooh, it just feels just like Halloween. Oh, it's got the fall leaves. You can hear them crackling under your feet. Ooh, it's spooky also. There's things in the woods. Oh, no, watch out. You got to wear yellow. You got to dress up. Everybody's dressing up. Okay, the creature design is effective and scares are appropriate for the young and the old alike. I really like it. I really enjoy it. I give it a 9 out of 10. What do you think, Bryce?
The second viewing wasn't as good as the first viewing, to be honest. I haven't watched this since I didn't see it in theaters. Yeah, this is an interesting, well, it's interesting to me, story. I was on my mission for the Mormon Church at the time that this came out, and I was a huge M. Night Shyamalan fan. Like, I think the movie before this was Unbreakable, right? Did he have one in between Unbreakable and The Village?
Oh, I'll get back to you on that, but continue with the story.
And so, like, this is like when I was really following movies, and being on a mission, like, even though it was in the U.S., I was just not exposed to pop culture or advertisement or, like, public reaction at all. It's much like what David's going through right now. And when I got back, I watched the movie, and I thought it was great. And, like, everyone I talked to afterwards was like, oh, yeah, The Village. That's really where M. Night Shyamalan jumped the shark. It was a terrible movie. And so I think it's like this circumstance where all of the marketing leading up to it kind of ruined it for people or set expectations way too high.
I think The Sixth Sense really set everybody's expectations too high, but go on.
Yeah. So I really liked it. It's a simple movie.
Yeah.
I didn't see the twist coming from far away. Signs was before this. That's right. So it went Unbreakable, Signs, and then Village. So Signs was probably his most successful movie, really.
Yeah, probably.
But so I mean, I liked it. But watching it now, I'm like, okay, it is really slow. Like it watching the second time, I was like, it feels like a student movie with a big budget in terms of, like, they're just dwelling too long on shots. Like, they don't know, like, it's like he forgot how to pace at all. And I mean, it's obviously deliberate. It's obviously trying to, like, have this, pastoral feel of, old timey slowness and whatnot. But I mean, especially in the second watching, understanding what the twist is, you watch it again, and I was like watching for, again, this is only the second time I watch it, but now I was watching it for tip-offs or like interesting scenes or lines that would like kind of give clues, and he just doesn't do that. Like, he doesn't take advantage of the dilemmas that the situation creates. And it could have been made more interesting, because it's like, well, we'll get into it in spoilers because I don't want to, like, for the people that haven't seen The Village, and it is a 20-year-old movie, but there are people born after this movie that probably don't even realize it exists, so we can wait till the spoilers to talk about it. But I think there's a massive wasted opportunity throughout, and I think just the slowness, it was a little taxing. So I mean, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10 now. I think when I originally saw it, I'd probably give it like a 7 or 8, but now it's knocked down to a 6.
Yeah, it hits everybody different. Actually, we've reviewed a decent amount of M. Night movies. Let's see here. We've reviewed in chronological order. We've reviewed Signs on our private feed on Patreon. That's a Patreon exclusive. Now we've reviewed The Village, and then The Happening, and Old.
So that's right.
Four M. Night movies, pretty good. You know what else is pretty good is not having to listen to commercials. You fucking simpletons! Like, what are you doing, listening to commercials when for like? Do you know how little $5 is worth now? Like, there's been 50% inflation in the last 6 years. $5 now is $2.50 6 years ago. Did you know that? You just give us the money, dum-dum. And then you don't have to listen to these goddamn commercials and hear me berate you. No, I'm just joking. You're not that dumb. But you could be not listening to commercials, and that's super smart. So head on over there. Check it out. Head to our Patreon, patreon.com/horrormovietalk. We got all kinds of good stuff, including a review of Signs, which is was so much fun for me. We recently did that one. It was just the most fun. You can also support us by buying a shirt, buying some stickers, buying some of those coasters that go under your coffee cups so that your mama doesn't yell at you when you put it on the glass table. Also, check out our resident artist, Dustin Goebel. He's a professional artist who fucks with his big long snake up in your... He also takes commissions for artwork from HMT fans, so contact him at dgoebel0000. That's at DGOEBEL00 on Instagram. Make your artistic dreams come true. Tell him we sent you. 682-253-4468 gets you on the show, and you can just come on here and just be like, this is stupid, or this is great, and I like this, and I don't like that, and meh. And you can do that, and we allow it. So thanks again for listening, and let's get into spoilers. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is spoilers.
Guys ready? Morning ready?
Okay, so let's talk. So the spoiler, we'll just rip off the Band-Aid.
Whoa!
It's not actually set in 1800.
Whoa! Hey!
Oh!
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 Oh! Gabagool! Oh!
So it's set in modern times, and it's like this, artificial 1800s village.
And that's the show.
And that's the show, people. So in the second viewing, I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, they're going to, use this, right? Because he doesn't betray it, almost at all. It only, is explained when it's literally just told to you. by
Here comes Bryce with all his logic.
like how much
It
more
is.
interesting would it be if like Sigourney Weaver or someone just dropped out of that artificial
Language.
old English old like New England accent and just went it's like when Data used contractions in TNG.
Yeah, and they were like, "You're not Data. He can't say don't."
No, you cannot. Like it's just in the second viewing, it just feels kind of silly, that watching all of them like not use contractions and like have all this like old English sensibilities or like have no showing of conflict, of the decision that they made.
Man, you could just sit there and enjoy the movie, though. Instead of like try so hard to be upset by it, you could just sit there and be like, "This is pretty good."
Calmer than you are.
All right. I don't know. It just seems like a lot of work to have to be like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I didn't even consider that. Maybe that makes me simple, but I don't know. It just seems
I think it's that kind of stuff that like makes it worthwhile for repeat viewing. Like it's not a movie that you would go back to often because it's so slow.
No.
And there's not a lot there. Like it's literally like the village is there and there's village life and then like a couple things happen in terms of like proof that these monsters are out there. But nothing really happens until the third act.
No, look, you're definitely on to something here, which is like, I mean, M. Night Shyamalan is an incredible director that has great storytelling chops and like and kind of an eye for good for good cinematography too. But he has a massive fucking weak spot, and that is he's just not interested in or aware of making films rewatchable. Like, he's just like, this is a one and done, baby. You better get it all right away, because we only have one shot at this, and that's all anybody's ever going to see,
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, there's some of his movies are rewatchable, I think. Like, I've rewatched watched Unbreakable several times. Like, that's one of my favorite movies. Like, that in terms of like I think that to me is probably his best movie because it stands outside of the rest of his catalog as being pretty unique and also like visionary in a way that people didn't realize. And it's a lot easier to see now because literally Unbreakable was The Dark Knight. Like that was the tone and like intention of Nolan's Batman movies was more or less like shown to him in 2000 by Unbreakable. I mean, that's not true, but Unbreakable is a superhero movie set in reality, which had never been done before. But I think Sixth Sense is rewatchable, even like knowing the twist. Like that is
but
one.
you know what I mean.
That is one that like, I mean, even though it holds your hand and shows you all the things that you should have been paying attention to throughout, that's one that like it has little things throughout where you're like, oh, that's right. That's why that is the
and
way it is.
Signs is imminently rewatchable. Like, it's just great.
Yeah.
I really enjoy. Like, I think Signs is my favorite M. Night movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Village. Okay, that's the other thing. So it just doesn't make sense that there's no reaction, no significant reaction, or like set aside meeting of the village elders when one of these monsters like literally is killing and skinning animals around the camp. You know?
Yeah.
where it's like the whole thing is the village elders have been dressing up like these monsters, but they're not actually doing anything or harming anyone.
Right.
But then Adrian Brody comes in and is literally like a psychopath. But you're never shown like the village elders give each other knowing glances or like confused or like actually being panicked about it, whereas they weren't before. Like that kind of stuff would have made it more engaging. And it just, on second watch, it wasn't. It was funny because like I was like sitting there and I was like, you know, dozing off in parts, and then I'd open my eyes and I had missed nothing. Like there was nothing happening in the scenes. Like it was literally like two people are in a room interacting in a certain way, and I could like close my eyes for like 6 Mississippi and miss no nuance or whatever. It's like that's literally just what the scene was about, was these people's interaction in this certain way, and it was just long. But it's still a good movie. I mean, regardless, it's a nice little movie. Yeah, I mean, it's still a neat package to put it in, but just some wasted opportunities, I think.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if it wasn't cut up a little weird. You know, maybe some of that stuff just didn't make it. Maybe it was a little too long and slow with all the stuff that would have been shown. It would make sense. But yeah, I don't know. I'll say it starts off with like the tragic death of a child. It says that it's set in the late 1800s, 1897. It's got Adrian Brody playing an R-word. And I just got to say, shouldn't they have casted a real R-word?
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
Yeah.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
Never. No, but Adrian Brody did. And that's why he eventually won an Oscar. So it seems like this kind of like idyllic, you know, but also like obviously, you know, tragic in the way that life is cruel, little place, except for the fact that there's like howling off in the woods, you know, it's like, whoo, ominous howling, like, and one of my favorite parts of this movie is how they like build into that, like where we are sort of thing, because there's a watchtower. There's, first of all, the village is in like a clearing in the woods, you know, as a village is. But it becomes more and more obvious that there's not like a main road through the village that goes somewhere. It's just a circle of cleared trees in the woods. And then you're like, oh, there's a watchtower there. And then it has a couple night scenes. And you're like, holy shit, there's a lot of fucking torches all the way around the perimeter of this place. And it's just like, whoa, like I really enjoy the world building kind of like premise of this little village, which is like, oh, it's a little cute little village that has torches around it and no road through it, and there's monsters. Like, it's like, whoa, cool. How did any of that strike you? Did you like the kind of the build up to what this place is in the dark, ominous woods?
Yeah, I mean, it sets the stage. Like, I think it breaks down if you think about it too hard. Like, where are they getting the fuel for those torches?
Well, they're in Pennsylvania, so coal is
right.
abundant.
You're kicking it at your feet all the time.
Yeah.
You don't have to dig down at all. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, it all. Does it say at any time like what the date is supposed to be? Oh, that's right. They have it on the gravestone.
Well, that and yeah, I don't.
I mean,
know.
that was I noticed that
gravestone.
there's a gravestone that
Yeah,
said 1897, but then I'm like, that could be just an old gravestone, you know. But was that specifically that person's gravestone, or were they standing next to it? So
No, there was the kid that died. The death of a child. A child. Remember,
So that's
the kid had died, and they were having the funeral for the kid, and
right.
his death was 1897. So we are to assume that it is 1897.
Yeah, so that's weird because like it actually does feel out of time. Like it feels 1800s, but also like medieval times. You know,
Yeah.
and it's hard to put a point on it, but no, I think the setting was great. I mean the production design and like all that was good.
And then they do a thing like, okay, so if it had just been that, that's kind of basic. It's cool, but it needs a little something more to differentiate it from being like a really amateur movie. And they go ahead and they do that, which is, hey, that's the dangerous color. That's red. You can't have red. And then, we got a safe color too. It's yellow. You got to put on this yellow cape. And that, for some reason, that, makes it pop. It's like, oh, yeah, you got to wear a costume to, like, be safe around the perimeter. And then we talk about the rules around these creatures. And, they're like, oh, they don't like yellow, but they really like red a lot. And it's like, okay, now I'm on. It's arbitrary, but it was one more set of rules, and now I'm on board. And, supposedly they've struck a deal with these creatures, which is like an uneasy truce, but a truce nonetheless. And the creatures leave them alone, and they sacrifice things to these creatures, and that keeps them at bay. But, Bryce, the kids are getting restless. They're thinking about, what's life like outside these woods. Maybe there's some of that strange out there in the yonder. Maybe it's worth going through these colors to get to that strange. We got to keep these kids in check. They are our retirement grease. We need them. So what happens? The little skinned animals start showing up in the village, and they're like, shit, the truce has been doused. These pig boar things are coming in here, and they're skinning our coyotes. Skin them all up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anywho, but we got Adrian Brody who goes full retard and really does love Bryce Dallas Howard, because who wouldn't? Golly Moses, God damn. And she's blind, which adds an interesting element to this. Today we're actually reviewing another movie with a blind heroine. Mm-hmm. What's the name of that movie that we're reviewing?
Wait Until Dark. We're
That's
doing
gonna be
a
on the
pretentious review
on
for
the
it.
Patreon feed. Yeah, 2 blind heroine movies. What are the odds? Did you set that up?
No, Erin pointed that out to me last night, and she's like, "Oh, I get it, because it's two blind characters." Is that what you're going for? I was like, I didn't notice until you just said that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you didn't?
No.
Well, you make all these
This one is a patron selection. Like they voted on this one, so
they did.
Like it wasn't really a choice.
Yeah.
We're beholden to our overlords.
I have children screaming so loud in the background what sounds like pain. But it's not. It's just misery. It's just misery that I'm going to have to text my wife. Can you shut the extra door? We have an extra door.
Oh,
Can you shut the extra door so that all these horrible misery sounds don't come through? Thanks.
I can't hear it on my end, so it's not that bad.
I think they'll hear it. So anyway, Adrian Brody really loves Bryce Dallas Howard, but obviously Bryce Dallas Howard can't fall in love with a mentally deficient person.
Yeah.
She's broken.
Everybody knows you never go full retard. You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
Never. Anyway, so she falls in love with Joaquin Phoenix instead. Joaquin, real quiet, soft-spoken fella, doesn't like to talk, isn't forced to too frequently. But anyway, he's losing a friend. He's like, he's petitioning the council, and they're like, you can't go anywhere. But when Bryce Dallas Howard falls so deeply in love with him that they get engaged, then in a fit of passion, Adrian Brody stabs Joaquin Phoenix, and this is the moment where the elders are like, hey, wait a minute, the person wanting to go now is blind. This is perfect. Like, it's almost like somebody wrote this exactly so that we could send her into the real world in 2004, and she won't see any of the stuff that we're trying to keep everybody from seeing. So she's the only one who can go, and this will save her from misery. And this is kind of the theme of the movie, which is we left society because bad things happened to us. And so maybe if we go and create our own society, we can prevent bad things from happening, which is just the most simple, basic, obvious, like, kind of dumb premise you could possibly think of, which is, no, just bad things just happen. Like, it's not because, society certainly quickens those things, but, you're just going to pay for it in some other way.
Yeah, I mean, all the stories that the village elders tell are specific to crime, and it seems like specific to crime that happens in urban areas, which is like, rape and murder in alleyways and stuff like that, drugs. And it makes sense in that context of, they're going to the complete opposite, which is, some remote, secluded village where they're all in control. And then turns out violence follows them regardless because they're still humans.
Yeah. Right. And, I got to say, just it's no secret. I've said it many times. One of my just instincts is like, when things are hard, my instinct is like, oh, I wish I could just run away into the woods. But it's not for this reason. And it's interesting. I've kind of honed the reason down more and more as the years have progressed. The reason is, I feel like it's a much more honest way to live, and I really feel like getting more specific with it lately. I think what it is it removes the stressor of money. I feel like money is some sort of added stressor that's artificial. I mean, it's obviously artificial. Anybody would tell you it's artificial, but it's just unnecessary and kind of it precludes you from being able to. It removes you by one step from being able to live an intentional life, which is to say, instead of like working real hard to get your food and provide your heat and your shelter and your safety on your own, you have to work real hard to get money to pay for those things. So it just adds like a little element of the thing. So it's not like I don't a little element of separation from what I would consider meaningful living, and so I kind of like this premise, just not how it's set up in this, but it has to be this way to be an hour and a half long movie. That's just trying to get across like bad things happen no matter what. Like that's kind of the takeaway. What do you think about that?
About money?
Oh, I don't know. Do you have any? Does any of that spark anything that you?
No, yeah. I mean, we've talked about it before. Like, I mean, money is obviously a stressor for anyone living in modern times and capitalism. Like, I think, like, it's something that's easy to get caught up into, and it's like all consuming. But I look at, like, you know, there's the Amish. Like, they use money, they sell stuff for money, but they're not, like, sucked into it. It feels like they're living that simple, intentional life,
Right.
and, like, getting rid of the, you know, illusory stuff, and, like, the stuff that's not important, and just ending up in a life where you just work real hard all day
Yeah.
and everything's fine. But they're not completely detached from commerce or
No.
reality or the
Yeah,
world
no.
outside. They'll still, like, sell their wood stuffs or, like, the fruits of their labors for exorbitant amounts of money, you know, because they know their worth, and, you know, and they can go and, you know, enjoy the fruits of modern society as well when they need to, you know.
Well, I mean, it's not even the fruits of modern society necessarily as much as it is, like, it is necessary. Like, you just need to be part of the world to some
Right.
degree. You absolutely do. It's just, yeah, it's just the amount of buy-in that your life requires, money, you know? And no, that's a really good point. And that's very apropos, because they just place a much smaller degree of importance. You know, if you know, the grid were to go down, the Amish would be doing all right. You know, out of all the groups, you know, you'd look to a couple groups that would be doing pretty good, and the Amish are one of them. Yeah, that's a great parallel. Anyway, so we send poor blind Bryce Dallas Howard into the woods with a couple of really wussy dudes. But the most important part of this whole thing is they give it away halfway through. They fool you with the twist. Bryce Dallas Howard's dad takes her, and, you know, when he's like, "Look, we're gonna send you off to the town. We're gonna send you, and they're gonna get medicine. But, you know, before you go, you gotta know. I gotta show you something. Try not to scream real loud." And then he brings her into this fucking shed, and then you know what happened. And then he shows her the monster suit, and she's like, "Holy shit, it's one of them. They're in here." And he's like, "No, it's a farce. It's all just a ruse. We didn't. It was us the whole time. We were the monsters," which is, you know, kind of poetic in its own sort of simple way. And so she knows it's fake, but these two fellas with her, they don't know. But the audience is kind of, you know, you're fooled into a little bit of a false sense of security, because you're like, "Oh, there's nothing out there." And then you get out into the woods, and there's still sounds, and there's still, like, a monster. And so these dudes who are with her, like, they just ditch right out. They're like, "Fuck this. My tummy hurts. I gotta go," you know, like, and so, you know, she has a battle with this thing, and you know, and it ends up being Adrian Brody.
You skipped over the sinkhole. Like, I love that this whole thing is, like, they just have to. The village elders are Scooby-Dooing their own village with these, you know, these monster outfits, and really, they've set it up to where they've just spooked all of the children throughout the ages, so that they just don't want to go into the woods at all.
Yeah,
and they do that just by going ooga booga.
Yeah,
you know, on the edge. But also, just in case, they dig a giant deadly sinkhole in the middle of the woods, which, number one, just wouldn't work tactically.
a sinkhole isn't dug, Bryce. You're conflating two things. A sinkhole has sunk.
Oh, I thought that was, like, actually a booby trap. Was that just a sinkhole?
I think it was just a sinkhole. I mean, I don't know. There's no lore behind the sinkhole.
I'd have to revisit because I thought it was like literally like they had the what's it called? What do they call the stuff over the top? I thought it was literally just like a trap.
No, she's
that,
blind. She's blind, so she's the only one, literally the only person who has something to fear from a sinkhole. She's like, oh shit, the earth just opened up and swallowed me. I couldn't see that shit. It was sitting there, but I couldn't see it.
Well, my interpretation is that they dug that hole just in case someone walked in that specific spot.
Right.
And they're like, fuck this particular person.
Right.
We want to Scooby-Doo everyone else except the person that walks on this spot. And for that person, fuck them. They die.
Yeah. No.
And so, yeah, she finds the sinkhole and then tricks Adrian Brody to fall in.
Yeah.
And he just up and up dies.
Yeah. Poor guy. Yeah, did you feel how did you feel about it's a little bit of weird feelings around like making the bad guy be, mentally handicapped and in love. It feels not quite fair, but life isn't fair, I guess. So like suck it, Adrian Brody, like don't kill people. Like I don't know. Like don't stab Joaquin Phoenix, you'd be okay. There's something here.
It's a little
It's weird.
Yeah, I wonder if the organizations for mentally handicapped people look at this and we're like, why are they making the mentally challenged person the evil one?
Yeah.
It seems a little. But you know what? That's equality.
Right.
Some are evil.
Whoa. Yeah, well, first of all, they were upset because they didn't have a real mentally deficient person playing the role. They were like, hey, you could have had Leonardo DiCaprio in here and we'd have been okay, but you chose Adrian Brody. So what was that about, first of all?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird I mean, it works. Like I think it's good.
It's just it's just like, how often is the bad guy mentally handicapped? I guess there was that.
Technically, diagnostically, they are all mentally handicapped. They have mental illness.
Who?
If psychopaths are mentally ill. That's a mental.
Yeah, but not classically.
Diagnosable.
Yeah, but not deeply.
Like antisocial personality disorder.
Yeah.
Narcissism.
No,
they're all David. They're all very sick.
The dark tetrad. So wait. I guess there's that guy from what was that movie that it was like the 15th movie we reviewed. It was like, and it was the fucking oil baron.
The
oil baron's grandchild. About. What is it? Something shadow.
No.
Dark. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. The evil inside or something like that.
The evil within.
The evil within.
Yeah, that guy was bad. Yeah, he was. Do you think I'm retarded? I don't have that drop. It's an interesting choice, but what ends up happening is we learn that it's real. It's now. It's present day, and she's getting picked up, and they are actually living in a what is it called? A fucking
or something.
Animal reserve, and that has been purchased with the money of one of the council's dead billionaire grandfather, right? So they bought this land, they put it aside, they made it protected, they have a fence that goes around the whole thing, and it's patrolled by guards. One of the guards picks up BDH, and we'll call her Big Dick Howard, and then they get her the medicine she needs, they send her back into the woods, and they say nothing of it. I've heard some some like, well, how would that work? How would that work? Aren't there gonna be planes flying over it? But M. Night Shyamalan makes an appearance at the end, and he's like, yeah, no, it's a restricted airspace. You can't fly through here, right? He says something like that. Mm-hmm. I think. And anyway, you were asleep by this point, so I don't know why I'm asking you.
No, I remember it. Yeah, I mean, it's a little convenient that they're like, oh, they have enough money to literally just wipe a section of the map off of the face of the earth for all of society.
Yeah.
But also enough money to pay like 24/7 like guard stations every 10 feet or whatever.
Well, that's the beauty of these,
what's sad, it seems ridiculous, but billionaires definitely could do that, and it wouldn't even take a dent out of their income.
Oh, could do. There's an island out here that is just owned by fucking Bill Gates.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, there's a lot of islands out here that are owned by rich people, but there's one that, like, all the residents of, like, 60% of the residents are on his payroll. It's not a joke.
No, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, when you literally, are one of 3 people who own 60% of all vaccine, income, you could do that shit, especially when you make everybody take it. Anywho, so let's, so there it is. The Village, I don't know. I think this is a great general audience's thriller. I think this is phenomenal for kids. Like, this may be one of the best. This is one of the ones that's always on the tip of my tongue when people are like, what's a good one to show my young kid, who's showing signs of being interested in horror. This is just a banger. It's appropriate, and it's got lots of big actors, big names, and it's also got Adrian Brody being a little bit difficult. So there you go. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, this is a good one to keep in the pocket for kids. If
PG-13.
you haven't been exposed to it and you don't know anything about it, that's probably the best way to watch it. Again, not a lot of rewatchability. Like, M. Night Shyamalan is, regardless of any criticism I have, he is a very interesting writer-director. Like, he has interesting ideas. His execution of them sometimes leaves a lot to be desired, but like, it's undeniable. Like, he's got some good premises, and this is one of them.
He sure do. So with that, let's get into our segment for the show. Horror movie. Yeah, it goes on and on and on. What was that? That one from The Sopranos? How do they say it?
Hua.
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 Hua. Yeah, it's hua. Hua.
She was a hua.
She was a hua. Oh. Oh. I was watching, last night I was watching Where the Wild Things Are with my kids. And James Gandolfini's like the main monster guy. It's crazy. 2013. I don't even know when he died, but that had to be the last movie he made.
I can't remember. He didn't make many movies after Sopranos, but they're all good. Like, James Gandolfini is like, that was a tragic loss. He was a supremely talented actor. Did you see the one with him and
That's a Spike Jonze movie, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Did you see the one with James Gandolfini and Julie Louis-Dreyfus? That one's really good.
No. I think you've recommended it to me though. Yeah, Where the Wild Things Are. Maybe. Wow. Oh wait, no, it's 2009. It wasn't 13. Huh. Wow, he was in Zero Dark 30. I'll be darned. Anyway,
Yeah. So I think Enough Said was probably his last movie. That's the one with
it says The Drop.
The Drop. That
But
one
I
came
don't
out
know
after.
what that
but-
is.
Um.
Tom Hardy's in it. Damn.
Anyways, the Whoas.
Yeah. Oh, we got to go all the way back to fucking May.
Right.
May 25th.
We'll see how much we can get through.
We got some Robert.
Hey, it's Robert the Farter.
Oh.
So I just wanted to real quick say, after my last call, you guys were also talking about. So you were basically saying about how we have our church probably has over 100 million. This is an estimate. This isn't even given by people from our church. This is by people who are outside of our church who just hate on us for some reason. And
He's talking about
the
Mormonism.
whistleblower, and they all just want to hate on us. And when people complain, oh, they only donate $1 billion to charity, that's $1 billion. Do you know how much food, how much humanitarian aid that is? That is like an insane amount of money. And when you complain about it, like, oh, it's not that much, at least it's something. So it's kind of not fair to say, oh, yeah, they don't do anything because it's only like $1 billion. Well, you show me you're $1 billion and you donate it to charity.
Yeah, you fuck.
It's Robert the Farter. No fart noise this time.
No fart noise this time.
Oh,
It's Robert the Farter. Mic drop.
Yeah, so Robert, we actually have several close friends of the show that are Latter-day Saints. Robert's one of them. I grew up Mormon, even though you can't say that anymore. I grew up as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I don't want to offend Robert.
It's a little wordy.
Yeah, I mean, Robert,
are you
that's
saying Mormons
fine.
are trying to control their own pronouns?
I didn't mean to offend you. Like, it's just one opinion that spending less than 1% of your vast wealth to charity is maybe not that impressive, in context.
Where's your $1 million, Bryce? He's got a point. Where is your $1 billion to charity?
Listen, I gave $1 to a person on the side of the road. Like, that's $1 more than you gave
To that exact person.
It's yeah. I mean,
Oh, well, look.
if you don't want to look into it, that's fine. Like, literally, they're being investigated by the SEC and the federal government. So, at the very least, they
That
did
just
something
means they're doing something
questionable.
right, baby. I mean, who are you if you're not getting investigated by the SEC? Then what the fuck are you doing with your life? But look, I will say, yesterday I was working on. I got this work van that I'm working on, bringing up to snuff, and so I'm out there working on the van, and these 3 of them, fucking a whole gang of Mormons show up, and they're like, "Hey, do you need help?" I was like, "No, dude, let's talk." And they were nice. They were kids. They were
The missionaries, you mean?
yeah, they were missionaries, and they were like, hey, what are you thinking about? What do you think about Mormonism? I was like, you know what? I think you guys are actually doing more good. I mean, in terms of just being kind people who are nice and good. Mormons are it. In my life anyway. So. Good on you. I think the more people who have this kind of, incredible outlook on the world, the better. So I think you guys are doing the Lord's work, and, thank you. And I appreciate you, and everything you do. And please, be blessed. I love you. And they like that. There is that.
And they bought it.
No, I mean it. I do mean it. I absolutely mean it. But also, they do that thing where they're like, yeah, but what about Mormonism is it that you're not with? What is it? Because we had, we've had people come over and be like, So here's what it is. You want to go talk to your dead relatives? And then my wife's like, ah! I'm like, out of my house. You know, like, you got to go. We don't make Carrie cry. That's one of the big things. This is a very important part of being in this house. And so, you know, I didn't tell him that. I was just like, you know, it's hard to put my finger on because I'm working on a truck right now. So I don't know, something. But y'all are welcome to come on by and, you know, like, pick up heavy things for me any old time. And you know, and just chat. You know, the coolest fucking part about Mormonism, and I'm sorry to keep going on a rant, the coolest part is, you know how you get how if you try to have an honest conversation with a religious person, 9 times out of 10 they're like, well, fucking and where do you get those morals? Where are they from? Where? And you're just like, can we just have a chill conversation that's honest? And they're like, no, you're threatening the thing. Mormons are not like that. You can say anything to these people. They're unflappable, except for apparently Robert the Farter.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Mormons are used to, like, ire directed towards, or mockery directed towards their specific religion. So it's like, all right, whatever. I mean, it adds to, like, the, you know, kind of persecution syndrome. But I think on the whole, they're a little more chill about it, because I think, honestly, like, part of it is, like, mainstream Christianity also knows that they have, like, a lot of power in, like, the political sphere, so they can kind of, like, push back and be a little bit of a bully with, like, people that question them. I don't know. And like, Mormons, you know, it's still like, you know, we don't want to make waves, you know. Used to make waves, and then there was an extermination order, you know, in Missouri. And so maybe it's just part of our culture not to, you know, make as many waves. Yeah. But no, I mean, I want to make it clear. Like, I have no, like, I agree with everything you said, David. Like, I think on the whole, like, Mormon people and the people that I know in my life, I mean, my mom and, like, all the people that I love that are Mormon, like, they're all great people. My leaving the church, though, is the part of it that I have issue with is the organization itself, as an organization that wields power in kind of disturbing ways, which is not unique to, you know, that particular church, but they're really good at it and really good at messaging their members, you know, how that's okay. You know, because they make their leaders, in, like, even they make their leaders to be, like, unquestionable holy men in a way that other religions just can't compete with. And so when you set yourself up with that, where it's like, no, these people are literally talking to God all the time because they're the prophet and apostles, and then, like, something that's eminently, like, greedy or worldly around the organization of the church, you're like, well, wait a minute. I thought that sounds like it's being led by someone that's concerned about money first and foremost, and less about helping people. Like, then it becomes a little more questionable. But anyway. Mormons are great. I love Mormons.
Whoa, it's been a while since this guy called in. Holy moly.
Hey guys, this is Babyface Billy. I used to work with David Day. You know, the last I spoke to him was about a year ago.
That's not true.
So I figured I'd call here and see if he was around. Looks like I got the number to a new show. This one's got a plus sign. Last time I saw a plus sign was when I passed that sex test back in the 80s. Prep though, you know, prep. That stuff's real good. The only thing about prep is the diarrhea that gets in the way of cocks in my asshole. Anyway, hope everyone is well. let me know if you want me to come on and review The Little Mermaid with you.
Okay.
David knows I'm not a stranger to that fishy pussy. Brian, keep those nipples up, baby. Babyface Billy out.
Yeah, Brian. Keep those
Words
nipples
of
up.
encouragement from Babyface Billy.
Keep those nipples up. Dude, I did a fucking year and a half long show with that guy called Hotline and Advice Podcast. Did not pick up the way I was hoping it would. It wasn't.
Well, thanks for calling in.
Yeah. It was about 8 months ago we quit. Good show. Incredible calls.
Good morning, boys. It's Dick Mancrease.
Dick Mancrease.
Hope you were both doing well. I'm loving the new Horror Movie Plus stuff. My face started to have seams split at the corners of my mouth. So I was grinning so much from your True Lies review. That was fun. That was a good time.
Good.
Right now, I haven't even made it through the intro for your Jurassic Park review. Enjoying that already. I just wanted to call and say, Bryce said something about, hey, reading the book is better than the movie. And I would agree sometimes that reading shit is it's for inmates, because I don't have time for that. However, the audio book, lots of fun. So that's cool. And except for comic books. Comic books are cool because those have pictures, and I like pictures. Yeah, man. Anybody ever see like an animated movie where the comic book was better? I would say I haven't seen one of those yet. DC's got some pretty good animated movies, but Red Sun, the comic book, I think is definitely better than their animated movie. Animated movie, not bad. But Red Sun was really better than that. Flashpoint Paradox. Wow, I'm a fucking nerd, aren't I? The book was the movie's better than the book. And then there's one more. I can't think of it. Anyway, you guys read comics? I think you do. I think I've heard Bryce say some shit about Superman before. Or are you guys just fucking tricky nerds? All right, man. Love you, boys. Take care. Bye.
That's a new take, that reading is for inmates.
Get that tattooed.
Like, reading is for inmates. And then anytime anybody reads the tattoo, you're like, huh? You're like pointing at me, like, have you been in the pen? And they're like, what? You're like, you could read that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, in terms of novel, I mean, yeah, you're hard pressed to find a lot of, like, movies that are better than the source material novels. It has to be a pretty shitty novel for like the movie to overcome that, I think.
I don't know. I mean,
like, because like the ones where it's like, yeah, the movie is better than the book, it's usually because the book is a novelization of the movie, or the novel was just so thin and like.
Yeah, but what are some good examples of that not being the case? So, for example, like Lord of the Rings. You know, it's like, look, the books are fucking great. The movies are fucking great, though, too. Like,
right.
Really very, very, very good.
I mean, people that love the books, like, love the movies, too, but they love the books more, definitely, you know?
I don't know. I love the books.
I think the people that love the movies more are the ones that probably couldn't get through the books, like me. Like, it was not my kind of novel to read, and like, movies are simpler, they're dumbed down, streamlined, and tell a
that's not
complete
exactly
story.
That's not exactly fair. I mean, look, I read the book several times before even seeing the movie, and the movie lived up to expectations. The movies lived up to expectations very well. You know, I mean, it's just, you know, both can be good, and it's not necessarily dumbed down. You know, it's just a totally different format that requires, you know, a different tact, kind of. And I mean, yeah, I guess you could simplify that down into saying it's dumbed down, but I don't know. I think, but what are some other like can you think of other examples, like, you know, where the
book is, or the movie is better than the book,
or as good, you know, where you're just as jazzed, you're like, damn, yeah, fucking.
Well, again, I only think of books that I just really didn't like. Ready Player One was an awful book.
Oh, really?
Like, it was just so dumb. It's just a, like, literally feels like a Reddit R movies user masturbating onto the page.
Ugh.
Where it's like, and then he has the DeLorean from Back to the Future, but it's different because it has the Knight Rider kit in it, and also it has helicopter parts on it from Iron Wolf, and so it fights the other cars, and there's King Kong and other movie stuff, like, movies, like, it's literally that for the entire book. And you're just like, this is so goddamn dumb. Like, it's so goddamn dumb. And the movie is also dumb, but dumb in movies is fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes dumb is good.
That was the movie where we went to the movie theater and you said, "Why are you sitting right next to me? Did you think this was a date?" And I was like, "Oh no!
We saw that movie together? I didn't know
publicly shamed." Yeah, we saw that movie together.
Oh.
Wow.
I didn't think it was that. I thought it was for the podcast.
And then, there's like To Kill a Mockingbird. I'm looking at a list here. To Kill a Mockingbird, The Wizard of Oz. There's a couple. There's some fews out there. Oh, The Princess Bride. The Princess Bride.
That's equal. Like, it's literally the same thing. If you read the book, it is the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's written by the same. The screenwriter is what's it, Goldsmith. It's the same writer of the book. It's literally like a almost 1-to-1 adaptation.
Fight Club.
Yeah, I think the movie probably is a little better than the book.
Wow.
But the book is really good. I like the ending of the book better, to be honest. It's like just a kind of a small, simple thing, but
next caller.
Next
what do we got?
caller. This is a short one.
Oh, here he is. Same guy. There's some Dick Mancrease.
Yo, I remember what the last book was. It was Avengers: Age of Ultron. The book sucked. The movie was awesome. They were not alike whatsoever. But anyway, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay,
What do you think of like graphic novel adaptations? I think it's easier to make a better movie because comics are a visual medium. It's literally just like
it's the same rules apply.
Yeah, it's like setting up all of the, what do you call them?
Oh man, it's just it's kind of. I mean, it depends, because it's like sometimes you're taking one of the best stories ever written, like The Watchmen, and and you could put Zack Snyder on it or something like that, and it's just like, visually it's interesting, but it doesn't quite do it in terms of tone. But Alan Moore's kind of a fucking dick, so I don't know. Maybe it's doing it correct justice.
Is he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he has kind of like I don't know. He has some disdain for his fans. He's like the idea that anybody could understand what I was going for. It's like, shut the fuck up,
okay.
You comic book writer. Shut the fuck up. I'm so intelligent, and everyone who reads my shit is so stupid. But give me your money. It's
like, all right, calm down. You're not Neil Gaiman.
Yeah. Hellboy, it's not the same at all, but it's still good and interesting, so I don't know. It's just kind of the same rules apply. Yeah. Next call.
Hi, this is Sam from Indianapolis, listening to your Jurassic Park episode. I'm listening to you guys recall seeing it in the theater has unlocked a core memory in my mind. That was the first movie that I ever got to go see with some friends without any adults around, and even though me and my friends were not 13 yet, we were really worried that we were going to be denied entry into the movie since it was PG-13, and those are hard rules, man.
Hard rules.
So as we were buying our tickets, My friend bought his ticket, his little sister bought her ticket, and then I was last, and I bought my ticket. And as the lady was giving me the ticket, and I looked back on it now and realized the lady was probably like a 15 or 16-year-old girl working in a movie theater. I got my ticket, and I very assuredly told her, I'm 13, even though I think I was like 11 or 12. I don't remember, but I feel bad about lying to that young lady to this day. Bye-bye.
Be cool, man. Be cool. Act normal.
Be cool.
I'm 13.
I am 13.
Everyone knows that's how all adults approach the box office. Hello, I would like 1 ticket for Showgirls. I am 18, as you can plainly see.
I would, you know what? I'm going to say this right now, and you tell me if it's the same. I still get that feeling to this day when
Really?
buying rated R tickets. I'm like, I'm cool. You know, like it's going to be okay, David. You're definite. You got this covered. You have a ID in your wallet. Like I snuck into so many movies that I shouldn't have. Not paying, but buying a ticket for one that, you know, and then going to the one that I wanted to see. That I still have anxiety about. Like it's cool. You can just you can go see The Whale. It's going to be okay. But then when I get there, you know, there's like an 18-year-old girl at the counter. I'm like, be cool. Don't. Okay. I'd like to see The Whale. And then she's like, here you go. And I'm like, you did it.
No, I love that. Like, yeah, that it's very nostalgic for me to think of the day and an age when I worried about getting carded or sneaking stuff into a theater. And once you turn, you know, a certain age, you realize like, oh, these are children manning this box office and like the counters and stuff. They don't give a single solitary fuck about, like, you know, you could like literally just like be shaking 2 dual family size Skittles and walk by them. They'd be like,
the stakes are so low.
Yeah.
Yeah. And except there is the 50-year-old manager walking around in a tie, you know, and he's the real shark you got to watch out for, you know?
Yeah.
Anywho. All right, guys, I'm calling it. That's it. No more calls. Y'all are wearing on me. We're done. Thank you, patrons, for voting on this one this week. I really appreciate you bringing us more of, what's his name? M. Night Shyamalan's movies. And you guys voted for it, and we appreciate you. Thank you to new patrons. We got... let's see here. We got Caesar A and we got Spencer D. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. We love you. Everybody else, have a good week. If you're not a patron, think about it. It's cheap and you get a lot, so it helps us. We love you. Bye. Have a good week. Bye.
Good day, sir. Good day, sir.
Is that me? Yes, it is.
I just had to stroll through the scraggly woods. He had no face! Horror!
Wow, that didn't sound good.